What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So legendary, iconic Hall of Fame, superstar, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO, Bob Arum, he agrees to allow his fighter, undefeated lightweight star title contender, Keyshawn Davis, Olympian, 8 wins, no loss, no draw, 6 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn Davis is 24 years of age, 5'9" with a 70-inch arm reach. He stated that he will allow Keyshawn Davis to fight undefeated unified 3-belt WBC, WBA, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered top 2 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Errol the True Spence Jr., who has a record of 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. Errol Spence is now a promoter, Man Down Promotions, and he promotes undefeated lightweight star title contender Frank the Ghost Martin. Okay, so with that said, Man Down Promotions promotes Frank Martin. Now, obviously, Frank Martin is a Man Down Promotion, so he's affiliated with the PBC. Okay. And obviously because that's what Errol Spence is affiliated. Now, Frank Martin is 17 wins, no loss, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, southpaw, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, right? Now, Frank Martin, in my opinion, is more polished than that of Keyshawn Davis, but Keyshawn Davis has a extensive amateur background, but he only has 8 fights in his career. He's 24 years of age, and he's an orthodox fighter. He's with top-ranked ESPN and Bob Arum. Now, Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis, they have been going back and forth via social media. Okay, so Keyshawn Davis, he just had a fight this past Saturday in Newark, New Jersey. He fought Anthony Yiggett, who was 26 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He got a 9th-round TKO win in a 10-round fight. And so he subliminally called out Frank Martin. But he didn't really subliminally call out Frank Martin, because he actually said at the end of his call out that he wants to fight the Ghost and Frank Martin, right? We know who that is. So Frank Martin, he responded, I'm tired of all the back and forth having this conversation and this talking. Let's go ahead and sign the contract, okay? Errol Spence, he stated that he would much rather see Frank Martin face off against undefeated Olympic silver medalist, 2-division world champion, former unified super featherweight world champion, superstar boxer, now lightweight title contender, in Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson just recently made his debut at lightweight, okay, at 135. He's a 2-division world champion. So Shakur Stevenson just recently made his debut in the lightweight division. And Keyshawn Davis, he was calling out, Frank Martin, and then, Errol Spence, he said, I would much rather see Frank Martin fight, against Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson responded by saying, oh, listen, I ain't turning down nothing but my collar, so let's make that happen as well. To which Keyshawn Davis, he just fought on the undercard. He was the opening bout for Shakur Stevenson's fight on Saturday, okay? So this is the fight he had against Anthony Yiggett. He was the opening bout for Shakur Stevenson fight against Yoshino Saturday night in Newark, New Jersey, and Shakur Stevenson in Newark, New Jersey. Shakur Stevenson headlined the card. Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis are very, very close friends. So with that said, Bob Arum, I personally asked Bob Arum about Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin, seeing as though Frank Martin is a top-ranked fighter. Keyshawn Davis is a top-ranked fighter. He's early in his career. And Frank Martin is a PBC affiliate, okay, because he signed with Man Down Promotions, and Errol Spence is with PBC, Premier Box Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman. So I'm sure Al Heyman is going to advise Frank Martin. And Frank Martin is fighting on Showtime with Showtime President Sports Steven Espinosa in affiliation with Errol Spence Jr. and Man Down Promotions. So with that said, right, Bob Arum says that if the two fighters want to fight and Errol Spence is willing to make the fight happen, then there's no reason to not make the fight. Okay? And we know Keyshawn Davis, he's subliminally, calling out Frank Martin. Now, I think that Keyshawn Davis, he wants this fight with Frank Martin not as his own fight. He wants this fight on the undercard because, remember, Keyshawn Davis is also affiliated with undefeated 3-division world champion Superstar Boxer, who is widely considered to be #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and he is the former undisputed junior welterweight world champion and reigning WBO welterweight world champion in Terrence Bud Crawford, who has a record of 39 wins, no loss, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. Terrence Crawford is 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. Now, obviously, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, they make up for the biggest fight in boxing. Okay, that's the fight that everybody's anticipating seeing. Who was actually the best welterweight in the world? So this is the fight that everybody wants to see. And so Keyshawn Davis, he initially started this off by saying that he wanted to fight Frank Martin on the undercard of Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Right? See, that puts him in the limelight. That puts him in the light in the same conversation with this Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. So he attaches himself to that fight because Frank Martin is an Errol Spence. He trains with Errol Spence. He trains with Errol Spence's well-renowned trainer, 2-time trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer, and Derrick James. He's a man down promotions fighter. So it's like, Terrence Crawford's little brother fighting against Errol Spence's little brother in a sense. Okay, now obviously Frank Martin is not Errol Spence's little brother, and Keyshawn is not Terrence Crawford's little brother, but Keyshawn Davis mimics Terrence Crawford and Terrence Crawford's style. And Frank Martin, he doesn't mimic Errol Spence's style, but you can see the style of Derrick James. That's the same style of Errol Spence, and 3-time junior middleweight, super welterweight world champion, top 5 pound-for-pound fighter, undisputed junior middleweight, in Jamel Lyons Only Charlo. Okay, Jamel Charlo is also trained by Derrick James, and their styles are similar. You can see the traits from Derrick James. So Frank Martin has those traits. So this is what Keyshawn Davis is highlighting, because Keyshawn Davis is saying, let's have this on the undercard of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, right? So that's a great storyline. So Keyshawn Davis understands what he's trying to do here, right? It's bigger if it's on the undercard of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because the storyline of Errol Spence's fighter, little brother, and Terrence Crawford's little brother facing off against each other. Now, the problem with that, obviously, is that Terrence Crawford is a network promotional free agent. He's not signed to top-ranked ESPN and Bob Arum, but he still affiliates over there. He's still at the cards. He still support the fighters that are over there, because essentially those fighters went over there because of Terrence Crawford, right? And so, that's why Keyshawn Davis wants to attach this fight. And then after his fight with Yigit, he then called out Frank Martin again. But again, like I said, I don't believe Keyshawn Davis wants this fight to be a fight that he attaches himself to as a soul fight, right? He wants this to be a storyline. He understands the promotional part. Keyshawn Davis is well aware of how to promote himself and attach himself to certain fighters and certain fights to be able to make his fight, and his name even bigger. So that's a smart move on the part of Keyshawn Davis. But on the part of Frank Martin is like, bro, let's fight. Frank Martin is not a big talker. Frank Martin is not, a trash talker. He's not clout chasing. He's not looking to build his name and reputation. He's really not even looking to build his brand, right? You don't see him doing a lot of promoting with his brand. He just solely wants to fight. It's ironic because Frank Martin has more the mindset of Terrence Crawford, who is not big on promoting his brand, where Errol Spence is more verbal. He's more active on social media than Terrence Crawford is, right? So, it's ironic in that fashion, because Keyshawn Davis is more. Now, Keyshawn Davis is louder than Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford and Frank Martin by far, right? But this is Keyshawn Davis's angle. Not that he don't want to fight Frank Martin, but he sees an opportunity to fight Frank Martin on the big stage, and he wants to attach his name to that fight. And that is a very, very smart move, okay? It's just that, again, like I said, Terrence Crawford is not with Top Rank. So Top Rank will have to invest in this fight, and this fight is going to be solely a PBC card. That's going to be interesting in itself to see how that would play out, because would Bob Arum want to invest in that fight? So ultimately, that's what's the interesting part. But Bob Arum said he's willing to do it. Errol Spence need to go ahead and make it happen. I'm sure Errol Spence don't mind making it happen. It's just that Keyshawn Davis wants this on the undercard, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. So first and foremost, that has to get done. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.